What's up, guys? It's Pete from Isip.com. I'm glad you guys came back. What's going on, guys? Pete from Isip.com. I'm glad you guys came back, and I'm here from the new hood, also known as my new laboratory. We'll call it the Human Lab. This is where I get my workouts in now that Phoenix was born, and making sure that I am on top of my fitness no matter what, no matter where, no matter how. The biggest thing I want to talk about today is a little story that really affected, and it was probably the changing point of when I was like, you know what, I've got to work out. I've got to start losing weight and start becoming, I guess you could say, even a scarier human being. Not scarier, but it was because of this. I was a lineman, so I was about 5 foot tall, about 230 pounds. I used to hang out with a bunch of linemen because I played varsity, well, JV football varsity. That was back then, varsity, junior varsity football. And a lot of my friends were varsity linemen, and we would always do what? What do linemen do best? Lift heavy weight and eat a lot. So we would go to Sizzler, and it would be like a routine weekly thing to go to Sizzler. And when we're at Sizzler, we would go there, we eat tons of food, but after that, we had to wait outside for the ride since we're under 17 years old. And I'm hanging out outside of Sizzler. It was 3 linemen. 2 of them were 6 foot tall. One of them is about my height. And then another one who's a skinnier Asian wide receiver, right? And he had on a nice jacket. I had a Jets jacket, which means like no one cared about my jacket. But it seemed like these other kids that were hanging out there liked his jacket. So while we were walking around waiting for our ride, the kids approached us and approached him. And they said, yo, they had ski masks on, like those weird, like 1990s, like face masks with bucolinis and hoodies, completely shady. And they said, yo, give me your jacket. And I was like, ah, shit, here we go. And in my head, it was only 2 skinny kids, and I was like, we could actually take these guys. So we went up to approach them, and then behind us was a little tap on the shoulder that says, don't you guys fucking move, or we're gonna shoot you. Turned around, there's a gun. Not really the best feeling in the world. Okay, and that was a point I was like scared shit. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what was gonna happen. Thank God these kids were probably just talking shit and had this gun, because the kid, the wide receiver, got away and hid inside Sizzler. And we sat down on the bench, and they didn't do anything to us, but they were scoping out the joint until we finally decided to come out. But thank God, I mean, I have gangster cousins that had guns too and got us out of that situation. But that's just a whole longer story. So, well, my cousins are like the triads. It's not really the triads, but they were just kids that had guns too, and they were like Fast and Furious guys. And they would have cars and go out, and we were waiting for them. So I told him the situation, what's going on. I was scared shit, and he says, "Don't worry about it." I was like, "What do you mean, don't worry? These kids have a gun." I was like, he pulls his gun out, and he's like, "Don't worry about it." I was like, "Oh shit, we're okay," but I'm still super scared. And that was the point of, I don't ever want to be bullied. Like, I'm sick and tired of being looked at as someone that could be picked on. I'm sick and tired of being perceived as someone that is weak. And that's when I started to change. Sure, I lifted heavy weight. Sure, I was powerful just to become a lineman and become an athlete. But aesthetically, I didn't feel good. I wasn't confident in my own skin, which obviously portrays as human nature's energy to prey on for the weak, right? And that point was a game changer for me, where I was like, never again. I'm going to do what I can to start losing weight, or at least getting into shape. And it was at that point where I really got sick. And I always used to think it was just wrestling, but I just thought a little deeper about different occurrences in my life, and that's one. And the message today is that I don't want you guys to wait for that last minute. Don't wait for the last second before you get cancer. Don't wait for the last second before you have a heart attack. Don't wait for the last second before you have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and everything in the book where you're taking medication that's going backwards and your life and health is just diminishing. Do it now, because your life needs it, you need it, and I know you want to change. So do it for you, and do it immediately. Don't wait till a gun is to your back. Don't wait till a gun is to your head. Do it now. And that is the best advice I give you today. Guys, thank you so much for coming out. And always, like always, subscribe up to my channel, share this with your friends, and just like this video. Alright? I'll see you guys later. It's Pete. Guys, I want to thank you so much for taking your time to watch my videos. I know sometimes they may come off as harsh, but I just want to tell you the real truth. Okay? Because a lot of us, we hide the truth, we don't speak up, and we don't talk about what's on our mind. And if you guys haven't, follow me up on Instagram, Twitter, and new on the Periscope, guys. I do a lot of webinars, I do a lot of talks, so check that out as well if you're interested in learning about the truth. I'll see you later. This is Pete from Isip.com.